Hello, everyone, and welcome to WrestleQuest. I'm Zack, the head of narrative and design at Megacat Studios, and I did a lot of the work here to build this Wrestle world for you. I'm something of a method writer, so I've spent the last 4 years practicing my power bombs by suplexing my kids into bed every night.
I'm Andy Marsh. I'm one of the artists and designers for Megacat Studios and a longtime wrestling fan. So you could probably tell that a project like this would be very exciting for me. Getting to see some of the wrestlers that, I was a huge fan of as a kid coming to life in one of our projects.
So we're going to get right into it and showcase the first part of the game here. Right off the bat from the title screen there, you can see several of our real wrestlers we have in the game. Macho Man Randy Savage being a pillar of the game. And the WrestleQuest is the world's first heavyweight pro wrestling RPG. So it's JRPG at its core, as you can see here from this large world map. And our real wrestlers here, they appear as these statues everywhere. And they're sort of like monuments or shrines to these wrestlers that people from all over come to pay homage and tribute to these legends. In the game, they're also the starting point for side quests themed around each wrestler. So, you go to the Jake the Snake statue and you do a Jake the Snake side quest. And these side quests are keys to some of the game's best rewards. For example, you can unlock some of these guys as summons into battle. So only WrestleQuest will let you summon Jake the Snake to come and rip a DDT on your enemies.
I'm a big fan of the ability to get access to Coco Beware's bird. It's very exciting to me.
The Birdman.
Big Coco fan.
Here we have the what we call the podcast chorus. These real-world podcasters, most of them wrestlers in their own right, and they act kind of as the Greek chorus from an ancient Greek play, where they're establishing the world, setting the scene, and kind of introducing the characters to you. You'll notice that if you look at some of the characters here, that they have articulated joints. We created what we call an action figure aesthetic. As we start to conceptualize the game, we realized that for many of us, our earliest and fondest memories of wrestling wasn't just about watching it on TV or even the video games, but it was playing with wrestling action figures. So we kind of took that and ran with it, where we created this entire toy world where everything is a toy. And it's allowed us to do a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's when we were kids, we didn't have every wrestling action figure that was out there, Usually we'd be having the Macho Man, wrestle a plush toy or wrestle a robot or something. So it's great that we were able to sort of capture that feeling with this game.
Yeah.
And there's the man himself going toe-to-toe with Stone Age Steve Cotton.
Ooh, yeah.
Here we have the game's first protagonist as a young boy, glued to the TV screen like many of us were, watching his heroes duke it out.
Now maybe doing something only some of us did as kids.
Some backyard wrestling. So Randy Santos, his deal is that he exists in constant kayfabe. That's the idea that wrestling is real, that it's not scripted, that everything that happens in the ring is reality, that these characters that are portrayed are real beings, real entities, real people. So that's how he kind of lives his life. He has this sort of childlike innocence when it comes to wrestling, and it's watching his heroes that inspires him to want to become a hero in his own right, become a pro wrestling champion. But as he grows up and gets deeper into that world, that idealism kind of gets challenged, and his character arc is really about, can he become that hero without compromising that part of himself? Can he do it on his own terms, or is he going to be forced to take more or less a real life heel turn? And here he is years later in a pro wrestling gym as an advanced student, and this will lead us right into some of the game's combat tutorials. again, WrestleQuest being a JRPG, our goal was always to take that core turn-based system that I love, but after a while it can become kind of tedious. So our goal was to really eliminate some of the pain points there, and turns out that adding in some pro wrestling spectacle is just what we needed.
Yeah, and I mean, I think pro wrestling was just, it goes hand in hand so well with this kind of system, especially with some of the changes we were able to make with it to sort of make it feel more like pro wrestling and less like navigating menus.
Right. So notice that at the bottom there, every battle takes place in front of a live audience, and that blue meter is the hype meter. And what that is it's an indication of the crowd's engagement and entertainment by the fight. So if you come in, like most RPGs, and just start spamming the attack button, kind of approach battles on autopilot, that meter will start to drain out. When that happens, your enemies will get more powerful. They'll get bonus damage. You'll lose the opportunity for kind of like follow-up strikes and things like that. But if you instead put on a better show and keep the audience entertained and approach battles with some more creativity and showmanship, that meter will fill up instead. And when that happens, you'll get stronger. You know, you'll do more damage. You also get bonus experience points and even better loot after that.
I also love that, like, you know, we haven't really gotten to the point in the game where we do like the dramatic moments or anything, but there's points in the game where you might want that meter to go down a little bit because your guy's supposed to be doing a heel turn, which is
all the
such
the
a great
boss
touch.
battles have these like Andy said, these dramatic moments that they're more or less optional criteria, but they're supposed to be these kind of scripted moments of the match where if you can pull them off during boss battles, at the end you'll get special cinematics and better loot. So this is another pro wrestling element which just really lends itself naturally to a JRPG battle system. Most JRPGs, bringing your enemy down to 0 HP is enough to, you know, put them down and out. But since this is pro wrestling, you got to go an extra step and go for the pin.
I gotta actually be able to do it here.
We'll see.
There we go. Never. I love the referee. The referee's like one of my favorite things. Like he's just like
sliding out. Yeah.
I just love this concept that there's always this referee that's like ready to go. You know, like it doesn't matter where you are.
Flipping into every battle over the world. So had Andy missed one of those button presses, then that enemy would have kicked out and come back with HP restored. So every battle that features a wrestler enemy, which isn't all of them, but which is a lot of them, you'll have to pin them to win. And the same goes for your characters. You'll have a chance to hit 0 HP. You'll have this sort of like last oh no moment where you have the chance to get back up. So it adds another like layer of engagement to keep you kind of interested in the fight and paying attention. So again, it's all about taking that core turn-based system and making it a little bit more fun, more interactive with these pro wrestling elements. We're about to go explore another one of them now, as Randy Santos goes to the AV room.
Hello.
Simply put.
So before boss battles, you'll have the chance to cut a promo on your enemy. You'll have to get on the mic and do some smack talk. And if you can do well enough, then you'll fill up that hype meter we talked about earlier, and you'll start the battle with some advantages already in play. But the thing is the boss has the same opportunity to, send some insults your way. So they can also start the battle with the hype meter in their favor if you weren't good enough on the mic. Some of the responses are intuitive. You can kind of just tell which would be the best for the situation. Other ones require you to, do some exploration in town. If you know a boss fight's coming up, you can talk to the NPCs from their hometown and kind of figure out their shtick, and that'll give you some insight as to what to say on the mic.
wishing diabetes on someone does not get you hype points, by the way. Should never do that.
Hello.
So Randy's mentor, Johnny Stretch here, just mentioned BEW, which is Boxwood Extreme Wrestling, Boxwood being a nearby town. The idea here is that many of the towns in WrestleQuest feature a certain style of wrestling. So Boxwood is, Boxwood Extreme Wrestling is sort of like the hardcore, barbed wire, broken glass, thumbtack style. There's also a Lucha Libre town. There's a Japanese strong style inspired town. We really wanted to kind of showcase the full gamut of what wrestling has to offer.
Yeah, and I actually like that it's sort of naturally set itself up to be kind of like old school wrestling, where our world map's broken up into different territories and they all have their own wrestling federations and things. I really enjoy that about it.
Yeah, and that's related to the larger overarching plot and the main villain, which I don't want to spoil anything, so we won't get into that here. There he is, the man himself. This is one of those statue shrines that I mentioned. It's going to start off one of our main quests here. One of the best parts about making WrestleQuest was listening to Randy Savage promos to begin each day of work. It really gets your batteries charged there.
It was even before I worked for MegaCat. That was always like, if I was like feeling a little down in the dumps or something, I would just start watching Randy Savage promos, and that would always like cheer me up, just get me like pumped up.
It's helpful for all life's events, first dates, last dates, first day on the job, last day on the job.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So you notice down in the over in the bottom right corner there, we have this sort of mini map radar objective thing, and what it does is kind of eliminates some of the need of guesswork. A lot of JRPGs, especially if you play for a bit and then put the controller down, maybe come back a few days or a week later, you're kind of lost as to what to do, where to go. We added a couple systems to help you get back on track quickly. Same thing if you decide to do some side questing and exploration. If you ever want to get back on the main quest, all you need to do is hit the right trigger to see what your next objective is. So in this part of the game, Randy Santos is going to the face paint store to get a special delivery for a local wrestler. And while he's there, these Wrestle Raiders show up. And what they are is they're a cult that worships the Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom. So they live in this sort of Mad Max style desert landscape, and they're here to loot the shop and get some face paint for the warlords.
Put all the pressure on me.
So we didn't just WrestleFi combat, we really tried to WrestleFi everything we could, every JRPG mechanic. One of those is the table spots. So in a lot of RPGs, you'll come across, locked doors, you have to find a key. But here, instead, there's tables that block your path. And you'll have to find a table spot token, which when you do, you'll be able to summon an NPC that you slam to the table to open up the way. Even the currency has been WrestleFied. It's called Slam Bucks. It's too much. Oh, let's see. So see there, Andy missed the pin. Guy kicked out. And the height meters are greened out. So again, back from the dramatic moments during boss battles, many of them will call for you to, let the enemy kick out a number of times. So again, it's supposed to showcase that natural ebb and flow of a wrestling match. Each time you do the pinning mechanic too, that arrow will move slower. So it becomes a thing where eventually, you'll be able to get them. And same thing for when they're trying to pin you, that'll start moving faster and faster. So it's not a system you can use indefinitely. We're also adding sort of more or less like an easy mode, we're calling mid-card mode, that will make combat significantly easier, allow you to bypass enemy encounters in dungeons, and also removes the pinning requirements. So it's sort of like a way for people that experience the game if they just want to see the quests and see the storyline and whatnot, or maybe they're not interested in like some of these deeper combat systems. But overall, it just makes the game more accessible. Andy's WrestleQuest has ended, so I guess if you want to see more, you'll have to check out the game and get it when it comes out. Wishlist now.